All right, what is going on, my friends? Today we are going to talk about managing money like a millionaire. I'm pretty excited for this masterclass, this training today because I really believe that it's going to help somebody to manage their money better, to become better stewards so that they can have an increase and fund their kingdom assignments and just take care of their responsibilities financially. So let's dive right into it. Managing money like a millionaire. So, like I mentioned, we're going to talk about managing money so that we can become better stewards, protect our family, to build wealth, and to leave a legacy for our children's children. So, before you even get started when it comes to managing your money, you need to take a 30,000-foot view of your finances. Look at your expenses, your credit card, your debit card. Where are you at with your expenses? Where are you at with your income? Take a look at everything. How much are you earning? How much are you saving? How much debt do you have? And where would you like to be? Okay. It's hard to get somewhere if you don't know what exactly you're looking for. You have to get detailed in your financial plan so that you can start making the action steps, taking the action steps to get to where you want to go. So if you want to get out of debt, you need to look at your credit cards, your loans, and see what the monthly payments are and figure out how you can do that quickly and efficiently. So set a plan, take a look at your expenses, your income, and just take a look at your finances from a 30,000-foot view. Now, why should you plan financially? So if you don't plan financially, you're going to struggle, right? And the reason we want to plan financially is so that we can survive during the hard financial struggles. This sets you up for a better life in the moment and also in the future, okay? You are able to leave a legacy for your family. This is very important. This is biblical, based out of the Bible, right? To leave to leave wealth for our children's children. We should be striving for that so that it's not as difficult for them to live their life. We want to make it as easy as possible. Obviously, they're going to have to endure, they're going to have their own challenges, and they're going to learn their own things. But financially, why would you want your family to struggle? I just don't understand that whatsoever because I've struggled so much financially and I would never wish this upon my worst enemy. Okay. So we should help our family and set ourselves up for success by leaving generational wealth. Okay. This is also important. You need to learn about the money game. How is money used and how it's handled and used as a tool? That is very important to understand when it comes to preparing financially. There are things that we're not taught in school, in college, by our parents when it comes to money. And so you kind of have to do some digging. Look in the Bible and see what the successful people are doing. And when you understand what they are doing, you're going to be better prepared. Luke 16, verse 10. If you are faithful in little things, you will be faithful in large ones. But if you are dishonest in little things, you won't be honest with greater responsibilities. I love this verse right here. And if you haven't read Luke chapter 6, I would really recommend you do that. It's about stewardship. So if you can't handle the little money you have now, how will you be able to handle more money? That is a question you need to think about and ponder on. Because if you can't handle what little you have, you're not going to be able to handle more. So, how to be intentional managing money. This is very important. Okay. These are the characteristics of money smart people. Stewardship. This is very important. As I just said, Luke chapter 16 talks about stewardship. You have to manage your money very, very well. You have to be intentional with your money. Okay. You have to give your money a home. Because if you don't give it a home or a place to go after you receive your paycheck, your money's going to find a home. And usually that's in the form of spending. Okay. The next thing is to invest. You need to invest in assets that pay you every single month. You want your money to multiply. If you don't know how to do that or where it's talked about in the Bible, look in Matthew 25 and Luke 19. Okay. Those are there's passages in there where it talks about how the servants were meant to increase and multiply the money that they had. Okay, be future oriented. Like I said, we're going to focus on building generational wealth, and that's done by focusing on the future and being stewards of our money. If you're able to sacrifice now in the moment, you're going to reap a harvest, and you're going to be built on a solid foundation for building a better life financially for you, your family, and for generations to come. And the last thing is you kind of have to delay gratification. There are some things that you might have to say no to. We don't want to take this in the context of limiting beliefs or sacrifice or scarcity, because that is going to hinder you a little bit. So when I say delay gratification, we want to focus on making sure that we're not going crazy with our money, spending it frivolously, and and buying the next iPhone or the next laptop that Apple comes out with. We have to delay gratification. So why should you know about managing money? Well, here's the thing. When it comes to managing money, or let me just say budgeting, most people have a negative connotation with that. And that is because most people think budgeting is restriction, and that they don't get to have, money for themselves. It just has a really bad frame to it. So we're going to reframe the word from budget to allocate. And the word allocate just means to distribute. So we're going to distribute our money into the proper accounts that it needs to go. We're going to give it a home, right? If you don't give money a home, it's going to find a home, like I mentioned. So with this principle here, we're going to allocate our money. We're going to distribute this money. So let's talk about that. 10% of your money is going to go straight to God. That is first and foremost. We're going to pay our tithe. 50% goes to your bills. And now I understand you might be thinking, man, Joseph, I can't put 50% of my money to bills. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. No worries. We're going to talk about that. All right. And then you have fund money. Your fund money fund is 10%. Education fund, 10%. Savings fund, 10%. And your freedom fund is 10%. So let's break all of that down. Tithe. 10%, right? You're going to give God 10% of what you earn. Maybe you're going to give more. You're going to give offerings, whatever it is. You got to give 10% to God. And I'm not going to condemn you, or I'm not going to judge you if you don't do that. But I really recommend, if you want to learn the foundations of your finances, giving back to God what belongs to Him is very important. Now, God is only asking for 10%. Just remember that the other 90% still belongs to God. So God is going to provide for you. He's going to take care of you no matter what it is in any area of your life when you obey His word and follow His instructions. Bills, 50%. So you're going to put 50% of your money into a checking account towards all your bills. And this may include, but not limited to, your rent, utilities, your phone, debt, groceries, needs, maybe some clothes every now and then. But I think you get the idea. Your fund money. So this is 10%, but the rule here is that you have to spend it every single month. You can't just save it for the following month so that you have more money. I understand why you might want to do that, but the purpose is to splurge on yourself. You have to spend money. Feel like $1 million when you spend the money that you have. You can't go over, and you can't save it. So spend it and be joyful that you get to spend money, and have a great attitude when you do it. Because when you do, it's going to set the tone. It's going to change everything for you emotionally. And it's good. It's just going to help you to feel abundant. And that's very important. Educate yourself. Now, I'm not talking about college. There's another method that we can use to save for college if you're saving money for your kids or whatever. When I mean educate yourself, we're talking about investing in yourself with courses, coaching, books, seminars. Because remember, if we stop learning, we stop earning. And the problem with college is that you're going to go to school for 4 years and then you stop learning and you get a job. You go into debt for a degree that barely helps you, and that just doesn't make sense. But when you invest in yourself with a coach, books, courses, seminars, you're able to learn something, gain a new skill, and you're able to use that skill to earn more money, such as sales, persuasion. You're able to use that to help you grow your business. So you might invest $5,000 into a sales course, but that $5,000 is earned based on one client if you're selling high ticket. So educate yourself. So if you're going to invest into a coaching program, let's say it's $1,000, you're going to save $1,000 and then you're going to buy that and invest in yourself. Now, save for your wants. Now, this is 10% of your money so that you can save for your vacations. Maybe you're buying a new car, some new toys, whatever it is, save 10% and have fun with it. Your freedom account. This is money that you're going to save so that you can invest money for your financial freedom. You want to buy assets that pay you every single month. Now, you can buy or invest money into a whole life policy every month, and that policy will increase in value. Now, we're talking about cash value whole life insurance policy, okay? That policy is something that you can use to borrow against, and then you can invest in real estate. That's a different conversation for a different day, but that is a strategy that you can use, right? You can invest in real estate, such as Airbnb, multifamily, storage facilities. You want to use your money from your freedom account to buy assets that pay you every month because you want to have freedom. That's why it's the freedom account. You want financial freedom and you want assets that pay you so that if you were to stop working physically, you still have money coming in. So if disaster were to come and there's a government shutdown or whatever and you lose your job, you still have money coming in. So buy assets that pay you every single month. You don't want to work for money. You want to make your money work for you. Now, let me give you an example. So let's say that you make $2,000 a month. You're going to tithe 10%, which is $200, right? Now your bills are $1,500. Like I said, I'm going to give you a legit example. This is where your bills are more than 50% of your income, right? So we're going to break that down. Let's be realistic about this because most people are living paycheck to paycheck. So now you're left with $300, right? Because you had $2,000 to start. You paid tithe, which was $200. You have $1,500 for your bills. Now you have $300. So what do? You're going to divide that money between the four accounts: your fun money fund, your education fund, your savings fund, and your freedom fund. 10% goes into each. So what is that? You're going to get $75 in each account. Okay. That is with that $300 left over. But let's say that you have $50 left over, because sometimes that happens. You only have $50 left over. So you're going to divide that into four accounts, those four accounts that we talked about, which is your fun money, education, savings, and freedom. And you're going to get $12.50 in each account. Now, if you're going to have $12.50 in your fun money or spending money, have fun with it. Spend it like you're spending $1 million. Have fun with it. So it doesn't matter how much you have or how little it is. Just follow the steps. And when you do, you will develop that discipline, that stewardship, and God will see that and He will reward you. Now, your reward may not be more money. It may come in another blessing. I'm not saying that you're going to get $1 million or $100,000 just for following this, but you gotta follow the principles. And when you follow God's principles in the Bible, you will succeed because God's principles are laws. It's like the law of gravity. If you were to jump off a roof of a building, you're going to fall. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're tall, skinny, short, whatever, you're going to follow the law of gravity and you're going to fall. So the same principle applies with God's word. If you follow His principles, you are going to succeed. I hope you're with me on that one. So that brings me back to Luke 16, verse 10. If you are faithful in little things, you will be faithful in large ones. But if you are dishonest in little things, you won't be honest with greater responsibilities. So again, if you're faithful with the $50 that you have, $25 you have, you're going to be faithful with $100. And if you're faithful with $100, you're going to be faithful with $500. So make sure that you are very good stewards of your money. So plan financially today to reap the benefits later. You have to sow into your financial future. No one is here to save you except for Jesus. He's going to save your soul, but I'm talking about your financial future. If you do not take responsibility for your finances, you are going to end up in financial ruin. You have to be responsible and take the initiative because no one is here to save you. You cannot depend on the government to save you. You cannot depend on your 401k, your Roth IRA. You have to take responsibility to learn about finances and to multiply your money. So when you sow, you are going to reap a harvest. Okay, think of it like a garden. Sow into your financial garden. So when you water a seed, what happens? Nothing. Nothing happens to that seed yet. It takes maybe a week, 2 weeks, a couple months before you start to see a full plant. So think of watering a plant like sowing into your financial garden. Every time you put money into your account, whether it's $10, $50, $100, you are watering the seed, okay? It's going to take a couple months, maybe a year before you see the money that you want to see in that account. You have to water the seed, put money into it. Every time you're putting money into your account, you are watering your financial garden. It will take time before you see some kind of sprout. It will take time before you see a harvest. But eventually, as you consistently do this, you will see a harvest and your accounts will be abundant. And then you can start taking action and doing the things that you set out to do with that money. You have to be intentional. Remember, if you are not intentional with your money, then your money's going to find a home, and it's usually in the form of spending. So, some final tips to keep in mind. This is in addition to what I just talked about. Some of it may be harder depending on where you are financially, but these tips are worth following. So, the first thing is you got to stop living paycheck to paycheck if that's where you are right now. Learn how to earn more money by adding income streams, learning new skills. Maybe you want to learn sales. You want to learn something, going to a trade school or something to learn a skill in which will help you earn more money. So that is pretty important because it sucks living paycheck to paycheck, and it's going to be hard to save and put money away if you're living paycheck to paycheck. I completely understand that. Save 3 months, 3 to 6 months worth of pay. Now, that might be pretty hard starting out. The first thing you should do is save $1,000 in your emergency fund. Okay, you have to have an emergency fund because if you don't have an emergency fund and something happens, you're going to use your credit card and you're going to go into more debt. And that is a no no. That is something we have to avoid. You have to have $1,000 in your emergency fund so that way you're set up and protected. And then as you start to increase your income and you become more financially prepared, you can add more money every month. That way you can work your way to 3 to 6 months worth of pay. Now, save 20% of your income. This is in addition to what we just talked about. It's going to be really hard to do this depending on your financial position, right? So, this is something you can follow. This is based off of the book of Genesis, the story of Joseph. They saved 20% of the crops that they had harvested during the 7 years of prosperity. Those those crops that they saved for those 7 years provided them for 7 years during the famine. Can you imagine that? Harvesting 20% of your crops and that's sustaining you for 7 years when you could not plant or harvest anything after that? That's pretty mind boggling. So, this is a principle that you can apply if you're financially capable. And now I want to say this, you can modify what we just went over for your financial plan for allocating your money and distributing it. You can add this 20% if you're capable, and you can take away something. But the key here is to steward your money and give it a home. Okay. Diversify your income streams. Ecclesiastes 11, verse 2 says, invest in 7 ventures. Yes, in 8. Okay. We have to diversify our income streams. If you're working a job right now, save money so that you can start investing in real estate. Diversify. Buy assets that pay you every single month. Don't put your eggs in one basket because if one basket is all you have and it gets crushed, it topples over and your eggs are gone, your income is gone. So you have to diversify your income. Some biblical wisdom for you. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Hosea 4, verse 6. You see, the reason most people struggle, especially Christians, when it comes to money is because they lack knowledge on money. They don't read anything about money. They think money is evil because they misinterpret scripture or whatever it is. Their parents told them about money, and so they lack knowledge and they pass down generational curses because they learned about money from their parents. And that is not the way it should be. Now, I understand parents are doing their best job. They're doing what they think is right, but sometimes our interpretation, our understanding of money is not actually true because it was passed down from their parents. So learn about money, gain some knowledge about money, some wisdom. So here's what you can do. If you want to become a client, you can absolutely do so. What we'll do is we'll financially protect you and your family. Then we'll help you get out of debt. We'll help you to create your own bank, which is using a cash value whole life policy to create your own bank to pay off your debt. This is the intention behind this is to help you to live financially free and help you to be able to invest money so that you can build wealth. We want you to be financially free and to be able to protect your wealth over the years so that you can pass it down. Multiple sources of income is very important. So this is something you can do if you want to become a client, and we'll help you set up this policy so that you can start using the money within 30 days to pay off your debt and then recapture that money and repeat the process and just essentially get out of debt. And how impactful would that be if you're able to get out of debt and start using that money to invest? How amazing would that be? Now, if you want to become an agent just like me and you want to help people with their money, you want to build your business, you want to learn about money, building wealth, passive income, and learning how to become your own bank for yourself and helping clients do that, then you can absolutely do that. You can become an agent as well. And you can get in touch with me. My phone number is 951-490-3014. You can reach me at my email address, business.josephwells@gmail.com. I am your coach, your mentor, your kingdom wealth multiplier. We are here to manage and steward our money better so that we can fund our kingdom assignment, help other people fund their assignment, sow into ministries, and give all glory to God. So if that's something you're interested in, reach out to me. Thank you for watching. Comment down below what stood out to you, what resonated with you. Like this video. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel so that we can continue growing, and share this video with someone who needs to see this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.